Welcome, everyone. I'm Amy Seeley, president of Seeley Test Pros and Leap, helping students to succeed in all kinds of tests from 8th grade to grad school throughout Ohio.
And I'm Mike Bergin, president of Chariot Learning and TestBright, helping students and teachers alike exceed their educational goals based out of Rochester, New York.
Between the two of us today, we have over 65 years of experience at the highest levels of the test preparation and supplemental education industries.
We both love to talk and learn about the latest issues in education, testing, and admissions. So let's get down to tests and the rest. The awesome sponsor we want to spotlight today is the Desmos SAT Math Course. Let's meet our special guests, Rob Pollock and Vinny Madera. We are thrilled to be speaking with you both. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Always a great afternoon that I can talk to you too. Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you both on the show. It's not like either of you are strangers to the Test and the Rest podcast.
Not at all.
You've both been on the show. We talk to you both all the time, but we're discussing something brand new in the test prep firmament, a new resource that you guys have brought to market, and we are so excited to find out about the Desmos SAT Math Course. Gentlemen, what's the story behind this?
So Vinny approached me and asked if I wanted to work with him on putting together a Desmos training class as a fully contained product that students could work on their own. So we spent a tremendous amount of time recording videos, adding practice questions for students to do on their own, giving explanations both in video and text form for all the questions that we recorded. And we have over 5 hours of videos teaching students how to use almost every tool in Desmos that they're going to need for the SAT. And then how many practice questions are there, Vinny? 200?
At this point, close to 200.
200 practice questions tailored to specific topics and uses of Desmos that you're going to see on the SAT.
Now, I want to get a little more to the backstory because, Vinny, you are well known as someone who has developed phenomenal resources for calculator usage and test prep. You've worked on a calculator course for the ACT. You are part of Assessive, and we spoke not that long ago about all of the resources that you developed for full suite SAT and ACT prep. Why did you want to get into Desmos SAT prep specifically, and why did you want to work with Rob Pollock?
I really just wanted to work with Rob. I mean, like, who doesn't?
That's fair.
You know, the 10 a.m. Zoom calls with Rob were the best ways to start off my week. But in terms of like the Desmos SAT Math Course, you know, for me, I always start with what would make my life easier when I'm working with students. And, you know, a few hours of like our SAT instruction for a lot of students involves using Desmos. And, you know, the lifetime of most of my students is about 8 hours. Lifetime working with me, not I don't work with like people that kill me after 8 hours. But the lifetime that I get with students is not that long. So if I could offload some of what we do in person to a structured, scaffolded SAT course, it makes my time with the student just, I think, all the more valuable.
I think that's really true. I mean, obviously, all of us do tutoring. We work with students, but there's something that we've sort of noticed, I think, in the last few years with the tests going digital and these extra pieces that didn't exist in testing before, where there are certain places that I think we can find that instruction that's sort of separate, compartmentalized, that students can access, allows us as instructors to really focus on the things that matter the most, I think, when we are live online or like, you know, working with our students. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. The more that we could give to, especially the highly motivated student, just, you know, makes everything that we do with students just so much. I think we really, I think, help parents rationalize, hey, how much they might be paying for us when they're getting all these other resources that maybe other local companies are not giving them.
How does it actually work? Can you kind of share with us sort of how would someone engage with the Desmos SAT Math Course?
Sure. So once a student is enrolled in the class, the dashboard they have basically guides them through the content by itself. So if they want to, they can work through every lesson in order. It's designed to build on itself as you go through, but it's also something where they can say, oh, I want to learn how to do a regression and jump right to the regression section and watch the video instruction for that topic. And within each topic, there is an overview video that talks about the tool, how to use it, the types of questions you're going to see it on, and then dives into more specific examples of those with a follow-up of 7 questions on every single topic that we've created a video for.
And I think the other thing that's really nice is that when we say videos, they're short videos. We understand how short the attention span of students is nowadays. So it's not a, 25-minute video on regression. It's like a 2-minute video on regression, and then you get to dive into questions, and then every question has its own video that's also very short. Rob, I want to say the longest video might be 4 minutes long, something in that realm. So it's something that a student doesn't have to throw away an afternoon doing. You have 15, 20 minutes, you could bang out a lesson and learn some good Desmos SAT math.
And you might not be able to tell from this conversation, but both Vinny and I are very funny people. And even though it's a Desmos video, we've incorporated our senses of humor into the way we edited the videos and the text narration they have in the video. So it's not dry, boring content. It has some spice to it and some things that will keep the students engaged as they progress through the material.
I think Amy and I are willing to fully endorse your statement. You guys are extremely funny.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys are probably, if I had to say who are the funniest people in test prep, you guys would totally be the first 2 people to come to mind. So I can attest to that. And I'm imagining as a tutor, I could sort of identify some particular topics where I could say to my student, hey, I think you should go in. And these particular lessons would be of value. So the idea for a tutor could be guiding their students, making suggestions of parts of the program that might actually be most important for my student. Would that be fair?
Yeah. And I for a tutor, there's also the ability to take the tools that we've developed and then apply them to specific College Board content, because it's all content that we created on our own to highlight how to use these tools, but doesn't necessarily go to the most extreme difficulty levels that you're going to see on an SAT question. So there's a way for tutors to take the tool, the things that the students are learning, and then incorporate them into the lessons as they go through a Blue Book exam or an assessive or study spaces exam.
And we put a lot of effort into not trying to create a program that will replace the tutor, trying to create something that will supplement the tutor. There's nothing in the course that's TestBright Wizards or Pollock Tutors. It could be something that stands alone and you could feel would just work along any company. So, a lot of that was also done by design. Like we want to help the tutor teach their students better, but also there's enough content for the motivated student to just get in there and learn, even if he or she is not working with anybody directly.
And on that note, even though they are videos, the videos are all voice narration, but Vinny and I don't appear in the videos ourselves.
Oh, well, thank you.
Is that a feature or a bug?
Thanks.
Well, might be the funniest people we know.
I'm turning my video back off.
But going back to what you were saying, Vinny, about who could use the Desmos SAT Math course, it's not just the kind of program that students or parents who are looking for resources might consider learning more about, but also educators, test prep professionals, teachers, counselors may look at the Desmos SAT Math course as a resource that they want to recommend to their students.
Absolutely. And that's also why there's an affiliate program that's connected to it. So, in terms of trying to make it easy to get it to your students, I mean, that was also one of the things we thought deeply about when kind of finding the right platform for this course. It's very easy to implement for an entire school of 1,000 students, and it's just as easy to implement for a tutor who's working with, say, 5 students at a time, or 1 student for that matter.
What kind of outcomes have you observed or expect to see in a student who is using the Desmos SAT Math course? Are we looking at a certain number of points, a certain number of additional questions correct?
Well, Mike, it sounds like you turned into a parent calling to ask about our services. I think it's always hard to quantify that. What I would say is that a student who starts this course having no knowledge of Desmos will be able to fully use the tool in all its capacity when they finish on the SAT and see lots of places for points and questions that they might not have been able to solve beforehand using their math skills, but now have a way to approach those questions that they didn't have at the start of the class. I don't know how many points that's going to equate to, but it's definitely going to equate to points.
Yeah. For my students, part of the standing homework assignment now is I want you to go into the Desmos course and find 3 things that you feel are cool things that you didn't know how to do in Desmos, and then come back and report to me next week. All right, so I want you to teach me something that you liked about the course. And, a lot of students are kind of defaulting to, I think, the things we would think, oh, I didn't know that I could do percents. Regression's pretty cool. Systems of equations, what? I don't have to solve these like a peasant using elimination, right? So like those are the things that I think that the confidence is really what we're trying to build in a lot of these students. And it's, at least working with my students.
What it's making me think too is there are efficiencies being created, right? We all know that students are really complaining about even like being able to finish now, which is something we didn't see before, finish sections or the modules. And I think that for all students, finding things they were not aware of before can be a time saver, right? The idea of like not having to waste time, kind of, very detailed, like coming up with solutions. I'm actually curious though, as far as, because we do know students seek out our services across the range of math scores. And so I'm wondering, a student who might be starting with a below average score, are they going to be able to see good results as much as a student who is starting at the high end? Because sometimes that's the difference we see is these students across a wide variety of scoring levels.
I think there's content there for both of those students, and the approach is probably different. A student who has no background in Desmos scoring on the lower end is someone who's going to benefit more from working straight through the program, going through the introductory section, where the tools are, how to use them, some of the system of equations that a student who is on a more solid footing in math maybe already can anticipate some of the ways that they can use Desmos. But when we were finishing up the course, I have a student working, or a college student who's working with me this summer, who was a former tutoring student of mine. He got a 36 on the ACT and a 1550 on the SAT when he took it. And he said after he went through the entire class, there was a couple things in there that I didn't know about and wish I had known when I was taking these tests. So there's definitely content for everyone there, and they're going to find ways to use it and practice the skills that they need to practice with some guidance from their tutors.
I love that. So what else should students or educators curious about the Desmos SAT Math course know about it?
Like I said, I think that it's, again, a supplement to any tutoring program that that a student has. It's something where if it can save a tutor time, I think it allows the tutor to work on things that are more vital to the student. The annoying thing, I won't say annoying, but like teaching a student how to like type something into Desmos is probably not the best use of my time when I'm working with the student one-on-one, right? I would much rather get into like more focused, nuanced aspects of the test and just like, you don't need to solve for Y when you put this in, right? So those are all things that allow you to work, I think, as a higher level at a student. And for institutions, I think it also, again, supplements what you might be doing in a class. Like a classroom math teacher does not have to waste time going through Desmos or trying to like half-ass a Desmos course for the Algebra 2 class because a PSAT or SAT is coming up. Like this does everything for you from, experts and professionals in the field.
Yeah, and I can testify to that in teaching a class at a local private selective high school where one of the students did not show up for a class till the very last day. And we're talking about tips and things, the things we reviewed. And the student who walks in who had not been there, he was definitely below 1,000 score. We were talking about Desmos, and he raised his hand. And he says, "What's Desmos?" And so I think it's important to understand that a lot of kids at schools, teachers do not teach Desmos. And so it's something that, making them aware and understanding kind of what a valuable resource it can be and giving them the time to be able to prepare for it, right?
Now, Vinny, in episode 703, we discussed the importance of Desmos and some of the features. I just want to get on record. Are you including information about using sliders in this course?
Like you in episode 703, I have not slept since episode 703. I don't know if I've apologized enough for the mean things that I said about sliders, but we have a module on sliders in this course. I have seen the lights. I have seen the light by sliding
He's
back and forth
retracting.
in little
He's
slits.
sliding
but-
backwards on this one.
And I will add that the introduction video for Sliders has some of the finest editing and sound effects of the entire series.
I cannot wait to see it. Well, listen, Vinny, Rob, we could talk about the SAT Desmos Math Course all day. Unfortunately, we are out of time. If listeners would like to find out more about your course, how can they do that?
We have a website, desmossatmath.com, all one word. So I think that's a great place to start if you're just interested in the course itself. If you're interested in licensing or becoming an affiliate, that's, I think, the number one place to go. Rob or myself are also great resources. We're pretty easy to find. I'm Vinny, Vinny at testbrightwizards.com, and Rob
at pollicktutors.com.
Awesome. We hope you enjoyed this discussion as much as we did. Be sure to join us for another fascinating topic and guest on the next Tests and the Rest.
Did you enjoy this episode as much as we did? Find expanded links and more for this and all of our episodes at our show page at testsandtherest.com. While you're there, be sure to explore everything the larger TestBright site has to offer, including real, expert, unbiased answers to the toughest admissions testing questions. Of course, we'd love for you to rate, review, and subscribe to Test and the Rest on your favorite podcast platform. If there's a topic or guest you'd like us to feature, just let us know and spread the word.